Hey Reddit. I never thought I'd be posting something like this, but here I am, pouring my heart out to strangers on the internet. Maybe you'll judge me, maybe you'll relate, or maybe you'll just listen. Either way, I need to get this off my chest. My name is Emily, and I'm 27 years old. I've been with my husband Jake since I was 19. We got married young, maybe too young, but back then, we were crazy about each other. We have two beautiful kids, a 4-year-old daughter named Lily and a 1-year-old son, Noah. For a long time, I thought we were a perfect little family. Then, I found out he cheated. Jake came to me one evening, his face pale and his hands trembling. I remember exactly what I was doing, folding tiny onesies while Lily played with her dolls nearby. He sat down next to me, and before he even spoke, I felt my stomach twist. Something was wrong. I need to tell you something, he started, his voice cracking. I made a terrible mistake. I couldn't breathe. My heart pounded in my chest as he confessed. It was a one-night stand, a drunken mistake after a work event 2 months ago. He told me he hated himself for it, that it meant nothing, that he was disgusted by his own actions. He had been carrying this guilt, terrified of losing me and our family. I felt like I was drowning. My husband, the man I built a life with, had betrayed me. I locked myself in our bedroom that night, staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying everything over and over. Our lack of intimacy, my constant exhaustion from motherhood, the times I pushed him away when he tried to be affectionate. I hated him, but a small, painful part of me also hated myself. Had I driven him to this? Let me be clear. I don't excuse what he did. Cheating is a choice, not a mistake. But I couldn't ignore the cracks that had been forming in our marriage long before this. I reached out to my best friend, Sarah, who had been through something similar. She told me that forgiveness is possible, but only if both partners are willing to rebuild. Then there was my mother, who surprisingly took Jake's side. Emily, he messed up, but he loves you, she said. You have a family together. You can throw it away or you can fight for it. Fight for it. Did I even want to? Looking back, I realized how distant Jake and I had become. Between work, kids, and life's constant demands, we had stopped prioritizing our relationship. The passion had faded, replaced by routine and exhaustion. There were times he'd reach for my hand, and I'd pull away. Times he'd try to initiate intimacy, and I'd claim I was too tired. I saw the hurt in his eyes, but I always told myself, he'll understand. But what if he had needed me in ways I had failed to see? Amidst my turmoil, I reconnected with an old flame, Eric. Just messages at first, catching up, reminiscing. He was charming, kind, and unlike Jake, he hadn't betrayed me. It felt nice to be wanted, to have someone listen without the weight of a broken marriage hanging between us. One evening, Eric suggested we meet for coffee. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, contemplating. Was this how it started? The slow drift into something more? I closed the chat. I wasn't going to make the same mistake Jake did. Every time I thought about walking away, I saw Lily's big brown eyes and Noah's tiny fingers wrapped around mine. Divorce meant splitting their world in two. Was I ready for that? I watched Jake with them, reading bedtime stories, making silly voices, being the incredible father he had always been. Could I really take that away from them? After a week of emotional limbo, I finally sat Jake down. Do you regret it or do you regret getting caught? I asked, my voice steady but my heart racing, his eyes welled with tears. I regret hurting you. I regret betraying our family. I was weak, and I hate myself for it. I will spend the rest of my life proving to you that I'm the man you married, if you let me. I searched his face, looking for lies, for excuses, but I found only sincerity. I don't know if I can forgive you, I whispered. Then I'll wait until you can, he said. I didn't forgive him overnight. It took months of therapy, late-night talks, and moments where I wanted to walk away. But slowly we rebuilt. We dated each other again, learned to communicate, and, most importantly, we fought for our marriage together. I know some people will say I'm weak for staying. Others will say I'm strong for trying. The truth is, I don't know what I am. But I do know this. Marriage isn't just about love, it's about choice. And today, I choose to try. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Whether you agree with my decision or not, I appreciate the space to share my story. For those who have been through something similar, how did you handle it? Was it worth fighting for? I'd love to hear your thoughts.